You probably recognize this Chinese character. It means heart. But can you find the heart inside this character? That narrow shape on the left is also connected to the heart. Now, look at this one. There is another compressed heart shaped component at the bottom, and they look so different that many learners assume they must be unrelated. But historically, these shapes belong to the same heart component family. The shape changes because the heart has to fit into different positions inside a Chinese character. But that is only the first surprise. The deeper mystery is why this heart appears inside characters connected to thinking, forgetting, busyness, and even speed. To understand that, we must first stop thinking of the Chinese heart as only a symbol of love. Before we continue, there is something important to clarify. These three components can be discussed as forms connected to the heart. But that does not mean every character containing one of them must be filed under the heart character in every modern dictionary. Take this Chinese character, mu. The bottom part is historically connected to heart, sin. The upper part is mo, which mainly provides the sound. Historically, Mu was analyzed as a character formed from the heart, sin, and the sound component mo. Its original meaning was connected to longing, admiration, or yearning. However, modern dictionaries do not always use identical systems for organizing characters. One dictionary may place mu under sin. Another looked up system may direct learners through a different visible component. This reveals something most textbooks do not explain clearly. The component that helps us understand a character's history is not always the same as the radical chosen to index it in a dictionary. Now let us return to the three shapes. Chinese characters are written inside an imaginary square, but that square can be divided in many ways. A character may have a left side and a right side. It may have a top and a bottom. It may surround another component, or several components may compete for space inside the same square. The full form sin is relatively wide. When it moves to the narrow left side, keeping the full shape would make the character crowded and unbalanced, so it becomes taller and slimmer. You can see this in Qing, Pa, Mang, Kuai, and many other characters. At the bottom, the heart may remain recognizable as Xin. You can see that in Si, Xiang, Wang, Nu, and Gan. In some more crowded structures, the bottom form becomes more compressed, as in Mu and Gong. The heart has not been replaced by another meaning. Its written form has adapted to the architecture of the character. Think of it as the same person changing posture to fit into three different photographs. Today, many learners associate the heart mainly with love and emotion. But the older Chinese idea of sin was much broader. The heart could represent a person's inner center. It was associated not only with feelings but also with thought, intention, attention, memory, judgment, and awareness. Modern English often separates the heart from the mind. The heart feels, the brain thinks. The Chinese expressions do not always divide the inner world so neatly. Consider 小心 literally contains 小 and 心, but it does not mean that your physical heart should become small. It means to pay attention, to take care, or to be cautious. Consider 心理, it can refer to what is happening inside someone's thoughts and emotions. And 心意 can refer to intention, thoughtfulness, or what someone genuinely means. The Chinese heart was not merely an emotional passenger, it was more like the control room for the entire inner person. Now look at 思, meaning to think. Modern learners see 田 above 心. That makes it tempting to invent a story about someone thinking in a field. It may help you remember the shape, but it does not accurately explain the older form. The upper part of early forms of 思 was associated with the head area rather than an agricultural field. Below it was sin, the heart. So the old structure brought the head and heart together. So every time you write 思, you may be writing the remains of an ancient partnership between the head and the heart. That is far more surprising than thinking in a field. 我需要思考一下. I need to think about it. Now examine 想. At the bottom, we can clearly see 心. That places the character in the world of inner mental activity. Above, it is 香 or 相. 香 or 相 helps point toward the pronunciation 想. This makes 想 a useful example of a character combining a meaning clue with a sound clue. The heart component does not give you the full definition. The sound component does not always reproduce the modern pronunciation perfectly, but it points you to the right direction. So, xiang is not simply a tiny drawing of a person thinking. It is more like a machine built from two types of information. Chinese characters often preserve meaning and sound at the same time. 我想学中文. I want to learn Chinese. 我在想明天要做什么. I'm thinking about what to do tomorrow. Now consider the Chinese character 忙. Today, 忙 usually means busy. So learners imagine a person surrounded by appointments, emails, and unfinished work. But look at the structure. On the left is the narrow heart component. On the right is Wang, which provides the sound clue. The heart component places Mang in the world of an internal condition. This gives us a better way to understand business. The feeling of Mang happens inside the person. That is why a heart component makes more sense than it first appears. 他忙着招待客人. She is busy entertaining guests. Now let us look at 快. Today, most learners immediately connect 快 with speed. 快走,快一点. So when learners see this on the left, they may wonder, what does the heart have to do with speed? Here is something surprising. 快 did not originally mean fast. It first described a happy, satisfied feeling inside. That is why the heart component belongs here. The character was originally connected to an inner emotional state, not to someone running quickly or finishing a task in record time. In other words, an emotionally free and satisfied person often appears more swift and decisive. So the meaning fast did not appear randomly. It grew from an older feeling of smoothness, freedom, and emotional release. Over time, however, the speed meaning became dominant. Today, when quiet appears alone, learners usually understand it as fast or quick, but its older emotional meaning did not disappear completely. It still survives inside words like 快乐、愉快、痛快. Notice that none of these words is really about physical speed. Once you recognize this heart component, an entire map of the inner world appears. Pa is connected to fear. Qing can refer to feeling, emotion, or situation involving human relationships. Hen belongs to hatred or resentment. Hui belongs to regret. Huang describes panic or inner confusion. Yu belongs to pleasure or joy. Guai can describe finding something strange or blaming someone. Xin can refer to nature, character, or a quality. These characters do not all name emotions, and they do not all translate neatly into one English category. What they share is the historical connection to inner state, disposition, response, or mental experience. The heart component identifies a broad neighborhood. The other component helps distinguish one house from another and often contributes a sound clue. The heart tells you where to begin looking. It does not hand you the complete meaning. 我有点怕 I'm a little afraid. 别慌，我们还有时间 Don't panic. We still have time. The full form of the heart also appears underneath many characters. Look at Xiang. The heart points toward thinking, wanting, or missing someone. Look at Wang. The character means to forget. Its lower heart component reminds us that memory belongs to the inner mental world. Look at Nu. The heart component places the character in a world of emotional reaction. Look at Gan. The heart component often points toward an inner response, something connected with thought, memory, intention, emotion, or being mentally affected. But we should not turn every character into a literal picture story. If sin appears below another component, that does not mean the upper part is physically sitting on, crushing, or attacking the heart. Many of these characters are phonetic semantic compounds. One part provides a broad meaning clue, while another part provides a pronunciation clue. So the safest question is not what dramatic story can I invent from these shapes? Ask instead, does the heart component point me toward thought, memory, intention, emotion, or an inner reaction? That gives you a useful direction without creating a false history. 我忘了他叫什么名字. I've forgotten his name. 这部电影让我很感动. This movie moved me deeply. Before this video, which one did you think was true? That every heart-shaped component must be the dictionary radical? That Si showed someone thinking in a field? Or that Kwai contained a heart for no logical reason? Tell me in the comments which discovery surprised you most. And the next time two Chinese components look different, do not immediately assume they are unrelated. One of them may simply be an ancient character that changed shape to survive inside a modern square. If this video changed the way you see Chinese characters, give it a like and subscribe for more hidden character stories that textbooks rarely explain. 再见, see you in the next video.